up, guys? My name's Chris. This is Wheel House Trading. Welcome to the Wheel House. Okay, so I thought we would just take a look at a few stocks that you should put in your watch list or put in your wheelhouse, if you will. I had mentioned the other day, I've kind of been trying to keep you guys up to date on Sofi. I'm quite bullish on Sofi. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that this is ready to go. If you guys have been watching all my videos, I use the hike and a she, and you can see the momentum, how it builds and builds and builds. It stays above its 9, this purple line. It rides above its 5, and then, you know, I had indicated this was a resistance, and we will see what happens. It did have a green body candle close, which was phenomenal, but then it got rejected the next day. But it hasn't like fallen to pieces. It's still going up, you know, 13 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents, things like that, which is keeping these kind of even. But I did say, you know, if it went above, you know, we would probably buy more, and if it got rejected, we would we'd have to wait for the pivot to come down. Now I saw this wick right here, and I had drawn this first line, and then a second wick came down, but it closed above it, and then a third wick came down and touched it again. So I had put in here the price of $19.41, thinking that that was going to be the low of the new pivot on Sofi for a swing pattern. The next day, which was the close on Friday, it created this doji, which is what I'm looking for. It's basically a battle. So, you know, buyers came in, it wicked up, sellers pushed it down, it met in the middle. It's indecision. So when I see that, that is usually the time to enter. Now, with Sofi, I already did enter a small amount. I bought 1,000 shares, and I'm looking to buy probably 1,000 more Monday morning. And once it gets above this number right here of about $20.99, I want to add more. So if you notice, we are making higher highs. Okay, these are all higher highs, and these are higher lows. Okay. And we kind of have validated a bottom because we had a couple touches, and you're still got all your blue ribbons. You got your blue cheese on the ribeye. Okay, it's real good. You're above your 20. Your blue clouds they're still blue. You're right on the 9, which is like a perfect technical entry when you're swing trading. So when it goes below the 9, you're usually, you know, out, and then when it comes back through the 9, you come back in. And so it's okay if this took, you know, a week to come down. That's fine. You're in a really nice bull trend. You know, the main thing when you look for a bull trend is, you know, your first condition is to make sure you're above the 200. You know, and that the 200 is going up. So that indicates a upward trend. So that gives you a level of safety. Okay. And then once we had this first little area, so we came all the way down and we had this first little area, and then when it retraced, it made a higher low. So the W here was higher than this one. That was also a good indication. So then that let me know we could buy in on this first day and ride this pivot. Well, we did, and it came and touched this new area, which gave a new resistance, and it created its first higher high, and it already had its first higher low. So then when it came down, it made a higher support, making another higher low. Okay, and it went through its thing. There was that little one, and then boom, the volume came in, and on we go. We just keep playing this game. So we buy in here, we sold, we wait, we buy in here. There's a little one, we sold, we wait. There's a little one, we buy in here, we wait. It hits resistance. We see that one, we sell. We wait for the bottom to validate with the couple touches, like I said. And then there's your little one, which indicates it's most likely going to do something like this. And then it'll pivot back, and then it'll go up, and it'll pivot back, and it'll go up, and it'll kind of do that thing. So I think that Sofi should definitely be in your wheelhouse, and I think that Sofi is about to turn from a technical standpoint. And just looking at this chart, it looks like Sofi is, you know, I could see Sofi, if you were to get in here, we really got to break this number right here. I mean, with volume, this $20.99 or $21, call it. But, you know, you want to buy in at the pivot, which is now, and then we'll break through that, and hopefully we don't get rejected off the 21.66. and we go up a little bit higher, which, it'll be interesting. There's not a lot of resistance to this 2361. I mean, we could get an impulse, a large impulse. So we could come off the pivot, buy, and we might break, have no resistance, and then this is where the new resistance might start around the 2361. It might get rejected and then do its own little pivot, and then we can, add more, rebuy, whatever it is, right there. So SoFi is really making, from a technical standpoint, it's becoming just a gorgeous swing high pattern, those higher highs and higher lows are really important. So those are good conditions. This, I don't know if you can see this purple one in here. That's the 200. You're above it. It's starting to curve up. That's really good. You're above all your blue ribbons, your 20, your 9, and this thing is curling up and coiling up, ready for a move. So SoFi should definitely be in your watch list. Now, a friend of mine, Claire, she and also James at Invest Answers, a crypto channel who I really like. A lot of the crypto guys, I watch a lot of the crypto channels, and I like James. Not only do I know that he knows what he's doing with trading, but he's also a crypto bull and a crypto enthusiast, and he keeps things really positive, and I like him. So he's been talking about this particular stock as well, and I've heard him mention it maybe 2 or 3 times, and then my friend Claire I was talking to, and she kind of told me about it. Now, this one's called Clean Spark Energy. Basically, they have some Bitcoin mining news that was very positive. It kind of pushed it into this trajectory. Again, you're above your 200, so that's safe. Your ribbons have turned. You definitely have a big impulse going on. Your volume looks good. Your RSI is outperforming. Your vortex is where I want it. You're braiding at the top. Your MACD is clean. I mean, when the MACD, both lines go up like that and there's space, that's just really good. Now, I will say, I do like Clean Spark. I think it should be in your wheelhouse. However, the only thing about Clean Spark is that it is not a perfect technical entry quite yet. So if we were going to enter, we wanted to enter in when it bounced right there above the 9, or maybe when it bounced above the 9 here, or definitely when it went above all of them right there. But since we've missed the move, or I have, not everybody, a lot of people have gotten in, that would have been the great bounce. That would have been a great bounce. And this is really high to enter at 2026. So the sweet spot for entry would be actually to let this thing come down closer to this number right here, the 1805, and then bounce again. And if you look at the characteristics, it does do that every once in a while. So I think it's a good, pick for the portfolio, but it's a little high as far as the price currently. So I love that it's above the 200. I love that it's creating just this really nice, strong uptrend. But the sweet spot would be to enter closer to this $18.05. But we also don't want it to go below the 200, which is around 1880. So if it came down to maybe 1880, would be completely acceptable, as long as it came down like this and then it kind of bounced up off that 200. Now that would be a really good technical entry. Now, one thing I just wanted to kind of reiterate, and I know I've been talking through all the videos about this, but I wanted to be a little bit more clear. If you were to enter technically the right way on a company that you wanted to invest in or swing trade, you definitely want to do it when it bounces off the 200, because typically, like when something is above the 200, it basically, in the most easiest sense, it means that if you're above the 200, you're in a bull trend. If you're below the 200, you're in a bear trend. So when you can enter into a trade when it's above everything, including the 200, you're pretty much at the beginning, okay? You're at the beginning of the trend. So right here, it got above everything. And if you notice, you didn't have to sell until, even if you put your stop at the 200, which I don't necessarily do, but this looks to me like it might have been a decent one to do that. So if you were to enter here, right when it got above the 200 at $4.07, and let's say you didn't, you put your stop way down there, you went to 1983. I mean, that's a 5x. That's a 5-bagger, 500%. Now, so entering at the beginning of the 200 and setting your stop there, you would have made 500. But if you tightened up your stops and you entered here, and then you said, well, I'm going to sell at the 50, well, you didn't cross the 50 until here, $28.95. So that's a big difference. That's another $9 you would have made. But let's say you were a little tighter and you did it on the 9. Well, you wouldn't have got out till $35.45, which is, another $6-7. So instead of from 35 to, yeah, I mean, you're looking at 850% if you bought in technically here on the 200 and then you sold at the 9. Now, yes, if you set your stop on the 9 every day, this green number over here, you would have rode all this up, and then you would have got out, you would have skipped the damage, and then you would have been able to you would have been able to buy back in here, and then you would have rode this whole thing up. So you didn't have to do too many trades, to be honest. And yeah, you lost a little bit here, but that's just like the cost of doing business when you measure in a good technical entry and you set your stop on the 9. You're going to lose a few dollars, but you're not going to lose as much as the 20, the 30, the 50, and the 200. So, it's really important to be at the beginning of the 200, and that's why I like CleanSpark, is because you've gone through this whole thing where it was in a bear trend. It was below the 200 and just now got back above the 200. So I think CleanSpark should be in your wheelhouse. It's involved in the crypto space as well, which is very bullish and tends to be historically very bullish coming into this final quarter that we're in. Novembers are pretty good. So I think CleanSpark, something to definitely put on your wheelhouse watch list, and Sofi as well. So let's go take a look at something else. Okay, so this one right here, SM Energy. I've been talking about this, and let's just do a quick little, just a super fast recap here. So SM Energy stock. Okay, so in the last day, it made 6.88%. Over 5 days, it made 8.87%. Over a month, it was up 23.19%. Over 6 months, 107.75%. Year to date, 439.62%. Okay, this thing is on a tear. Let's go look at what just came out on the earnings, just so you guys kind of know. Okay, so they had a huge beat, 424.53%. Remember how I told you guys in videos, like, really you want the EPS to be no less than 30% higher than it was a year ago this quarter, but really we want to be at like 50, 80, 200, 500, and probably some of you were shaking your head like, yeah, right, 500, that never happens. Well, here we are a week later, and one of the picks I picked before this happened was SM Energy. And look, it beat by 424.53%. Believe me, Wall Street is taking a serious look at something like that. That is when you get that institutional support and your level of safety goes way, way up. Look at the beat on revenue, guys, 45.97. These earnings are outstanding, okay? So SM Energy, I want in your watch list, okay? Oh, I'm on the wrong. So, here's the deal with SM Energy. You're above your blue ribbons, above your 20. You're definitely in an uptrend above your 200. You got volume coming in. You had a great earnings. All your indicators are bullish. You validated a bottom here, which was 29.08. Okay, you went through this little base and through this resistance, and you closed above it, which was 30.97. I think that's about where I bought it. And then here you go. You got a green body candle close against above this next one of 34.32, which is exactly where you're at. Now, it did wick way up to 37.24, which is in my mind quite bullish. So let's draw another little line here so that we're just aware of it, because the chart's developed a little bit. And I can see that $3 move is coming, this week, if not tomorrow, Monday. I'm recording this on a Sunday, but this thing has legs. I mean, with earnings like that, this thing could go another 100%, over time. Not tomorrow or this week, but gains every week, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for good technical entries, which right now looks good. You had the earnings, which looks good. You're in a bull trend above the 200. Everything is bullish across the board. So I think SM Energy is a really good pick for us for the Wheel House watch list. Another one that I just entered. Let's see if I can find it. It's right here. It's called Edwards Life Sciences, and I just picked up some of this. I was in it before. I got in right in here. I think I got this move right here. It's a very safe stock. Okay, it's been beaten up because it's in the medical field. However, it's very stable. It has a lot of institutional support, and it creates these just really beautiful, really beautiful impulse structures with very small retracements that look like bull flag consolidations, and it just does its thing. It topped out here at its all-time high of 123.26. And this is where I got out. I saw this little thing, and I got out, and it kind of did its whole thing, and but it stayed above the 200. It kind of fell below all this. The clouds went red. I don't like that. I didn't buy this impulse myself, just not because I didn't want it, but I actually wasn't paying attention, and I was more focused on cryptos and Lucid and Sofi and Asana and apps and Crocs and all these other ones. But I noticed, because I was in this before, I already had all these supports and resistances drawn in. And I noticed that this thing basically came up to this resistance and got rejected hard. Look at that wick. It came all the way down, but look, it pushed back up. And that to me was like a bullish indicator that either institutions are supporting it, or that people are definitely looking to get in on this support on the way up. And lo and behold, it changed back from red to blue, and your blue cloud is curving. And not only did it close above this 115.50, but it actually went all the way above the next one of 118 and closed above it at 119. I got in at the higher 117. So I just got in this one. And depending on how it goes tomorrow morning, Monday, I'm going to probably add more to this. I'll be adding more to SM. I'll be adding more to Sofi. And those are probably, they have a combination of, they're in the bull trend, the technicals are good, the earnings are coming in, things are just overall good choices, okay? Clean Spark as well, okay? You just crossed that 200. I'd like it to come down $1.50, $2, and then bounce off that 200 so I can get a little bit better of a deal. But still, if you look at it in the big scope of things, I mean, $1.50 is not really that crazy when it could go up another 800% like it did before, as an example. Now that might take time, and that's okay, but it's definitely hooked into crypto, and crypto's about to really run. So crypto stocks are probably something to, get. That would be like your Hives, your Hut 8 mining, your Clean Sparks, your Coinbases, your Grayscales, your Bitwise, and then obviously the individual tokens. So Edwards Life Sciences, SM Energy, Clean Spark, what was the other one that I said? So we had Sofi, Clean Spark, SM Energy, Edwards Life Sciences, the one I'm on. And then the next one I want to take a look at for like a really big gain and also a good entry is Facebook. Now look, Facebook is something, I got to go over something with Facebook for you. Now I entered in at 313-ish area, which was, over in here. I wanted it at 303, but it didn't go down. And the reason I entered below the 200 and below the resistance was because I know that Facebook is going to go back to the 400s. I saw a report at 407 from Morningstar. I saw another one at 430. Plus, Facebook is a mega cap, and they didn't have the best earnings, which makes me nervous. I'll be honest, it's making me a little nervous that the Apples, the Amazons, and Facebooks are not having the best earnings. That's usually like the very, very beginning thing the very beginning of the fall, if you will. And I don't want to be pessimistic or anything, but typically when the big guys start to not have the greatest earnings, that is an indicator that the beginning of maybe trading sideways or like not going up as fast, and and maybe even topping out to coming down, and that might not happen for a year, but this is like the first little things to look at. So Facebook barely beat on their earnings per share, and they actually declined on revenue, and their the subscribers, the people using the application Facebook, have gone down a tiny bit. However, I do think that this is a great opportunity because it hit this top and it's just come down through all these supports, and it found a bottom and it came back up, and it tried and then it got rejected and it came down, down, down. And that's when I noticed that about 310, 312 was the bottom, because there was like a fight right there. Actually, let's make a little support. So we'll call it right here, just for right now. I'll clean it up later. Let's make it red. So I think that Facebook is something you should put in your wheelhouse because it kind of validated its floor. It's a great company. It has good analyst ratings. And like volume started coming in. It closed above, even though it went down here, it closed above the next resistance the next day, creating a new support at 317.47. You're only $5 above that right now. So you're in a good place. Now, can you imagine if you buy even at 327.57 and you come all the way back up to this 383? But most likely it's going to go to the 407 to 430. And I do believe that. I do think that the analysts are correct based on that. So this is, if it goes all the way to say 430 and you're buying at 323, well, it's like $100, so, give or take. But it's good because what I like to show you guys is that you validated a bottom and now you've created bullish momentum, and we have one candle of bullish momentum. It's always good to have a follow through day. And if you notice, it is now right at the 200. Okay, so tomorrow, Monday, is important because if it creeps right above the 200, again, it's like clean spark, where you're at the beginning of this long trend. Now, in my last video, I said I don't worry about a stock market crash, and this is a perfect example of why. If you buy technically, okay, you buy at a support like it's at now, and right at the beginning of the 200, you can set your stop right below it, right, say at this other support at 317. So you have a $500 loss. I do think that you want to use the ATR on Facebook because it swings up and down. You might want a little bit more wiggle room than 500. But let's say you even put it here at 310, okay? You're putting it below the 200. You're entering technically. You're entering on a support with a low risk and a high reward, okay? Now, in that video, I said I don't buy and hold forever, which is true. But if you enter technically above this 200 on the support for low risk, high reward, this thing could go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years before it comes back down and comes back through the 200. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years is not forever, is it? But it doesn't mean that you can't enter technically right now and have a long hold and make a ton of gains. And if you come in here every week and you raise your stop once a week, say on Fridays, and you just raise it on the 200 once a week and you just let it ride, look what happened last time as an example. This is just, okay, so really, The last time that it came through the 200 was April 20th or April 27th, 2020. Okay, that's a long time. Okay, now it's not forever, but this is the kind of stuff I'm trying to teach you. If you were to enter in here above the 200, you were in this trade the whole time. Now you did dip a tiny bit below right there, but probably your stop didn't get hit because you're going to keep it a little bit below your 200. And if it did, you would just re-enter above the 200, and here you go again. You scrape the bottom, kind of like Tesla did. I showed you in that last video. It's totally fine, totally normal. And you just stay in through all these impulses and beautiful structures. And if you were keeping it at the 200, you recently got stopped out, and it looks like tomorrow, Monday, you could be re-entering. Now, I teach you how to tighten your stop so that you don't lose all this. I teach you how to enter on the 200. But then you can move it up to the 50, which is this bottom line. Okay, so you would have been stopped out over here instead of over here. So that's a big savings, right? Or you could get tighter and you could set your stop at the 20. Okay, which is probably the 20 and 30 are probably pretty realistic for a stock that swings as much as Facebook. Realistically, if you were super tight and you were just trading it, not looking to hold it, you would have kept it at the 9 and you would have got out right there. But you'd be trading in and out a lot during the moves of Facebook because, again, it swings a lot. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys is if you buy in when it goes right above the 200, you have a lot of options to make money. And even if you set your stop on the 200, I mean, look, you bought at 187 and you sold at 324, guys. I mean, that's a massive gain just by putting your stop on the 200. It's not forever, okay, but you use capital protection and you went from 187 to 324 in about a year just using a good technical entry. Another thing I wanted to kind of tell you is if you use a good support and a good technical entry, like I showed you on yesterday's video with Tesla, you get rid of about 80% of all the problems that you may have in the future. Because your risk is a lot lower because you're buying at a support that's low, that's been validated multiple times, and you're just right above the 200, ready for that next run. And that's also how Wall Street looks at things. When I say they're not going to hold, they're going to sell, yeah, that's true. They're probably going to try to battle it out at the 200 to keep it in the bull trend, but if it falls below, they're not going to be holding much longer until it comes to its new bottom below the 200 and then starts making a trend reversal, and then they would, re-enter because nobody wants to just go through all that pain. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. So those are 5 really good stocks. We have Sofi, we have Clean Spark, we have SM Energy, Edwards Life Sciences, and Facebook. And those are all ones that I'm very interested in, and I think technically as well as fundamentally, and they meet the conditions above the 200. Facebook should be above the 200 tomorrow. Volumes coming in, indicators look good. So those are really 5 really good picks. There's a lot more. I really like this Crocs one, and Asana has just been crazy for me, but Crocs is really doing good, and again, it's above your 200. Everything is blue. Everything is happy. I just got into Crocs not long ago. Right around here, this 150. I think I get around 153, and I just started going up. Now we want to get a break right here at the 163.16, which we're approaching, and then we can run. But Crocs is, they had good earnings, and all their indicators look really good. I mean, look at the MACD and the space between it. Your vortex is good. You're outperforming. Everything looks really good. So I like Crocs. This Asana one has just been insane. This is crazy. So, from $30 to $135. I didn't catch all that, but I've been in Asana for quite a while now. Where did I get in? I'm not exactly sure if I got in over here. No, I think I got in higher. Yeah, it was more like this area. So I got in, I got out, and then once it came back and bounced back off it, I've been in the whole time. And this one came down a little bit, and look, it's turning, so it's good technically as well. So I like those. That apps one has been really good. That FAS Triple Bull Financial has just been raging. I mean, you guys are like getting wealthy fast on that one. So those are some really good picks for me that you should go in your Wheelhouse watch list. And do me a favor, hit the like, hit the subscribe, select all. And, we're going to be having the Discord and the courses I'm hoping to launch this week and start inviting people in and getting them all situated. And I'm continuing to work on the courses. I have quite a few of them that'll keep you busy for a while, and I'm looking to do, no less than 3 editions every week to maybe 6, depending on my schedule and how much I can handle. But there's a lot in there that will keep you busy for quite a while, and then I'll be adding before you even get to those. So, yeah, really, really good courses, and I appreciate you guys stopping by. Welcome to the Wheelhouse.